You're going to be detained under the Terrorism Act for a search, all right?
Which section?
Section 47 or Terrorism
47,
Act,
doesn't that need to be authorised by an inspector?
Welcome to Noxium, where police power meets public accountability.
This episode is brought to you by Auditor. Be sure to check the link below, subscribe to his channel, and give him the credit he rightfully deserves. In this episode, Auditor TGA is on public land filming the entrance gate of a police station when an officer and a sergeant arrive, immediately treating him as a potential threat. TGA understands his rights and knows when he is not required to answer questions, and that is exactly what they cannot tolerate. Rather than disengaging, they escalate the situation and attempt to justify a Section 47 search without lawful grounds. TGA recognizes this, documents everything.
Obviously, we're police officers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You have a lot of police stations, they're protected buildings, per se.
Protected door, I wouldn't say they are.
The issue is you're going up to the door, you're using that camera and taking a video of the key code there, you're looking at the door.
And is that illegal? No.
Huh?
That's not illegal, no.
It's suspicious though, isn't it?
Yeah, suspicion's not a crime though, is it?
No, it isn't a crime, but that's what I'm talking to.
Okay.
If it was a crime, you would have been arrested by now, but you're not under arrest, are you?
Okay, well, nearly was at Romford, but you know.
Where? Go on, what do you mean 1 point?
Romford.
Was you arrested? What happened there? Do you mind telling me?
Well, there's a PC up there who tried to arrest me for antisocial behaviour for doing this.
Do you not see how this is concerning me?
No.
No, it isn't. All right.
No, not at all.
The issue is, sir, obviously, a lot of people don't like us. A lot of people want to cause us harm.
Well, and you think they'd go and film, would you?
But when you're approaching a police door with a camera very close, to me, is he looking the way of trying to get into the building? Why is he going over to the door? Why would you not stand there and take a picture of the whole building?
Are you doing okay?
The officer opens with the word suspicious because he needs to establish it early, before the narrative begins to unravel. TGA is filming a gate on public land, briefly steps near a door, and suddenly that is reframed as filming a key code. The claim does not withstand even a moment of scrutiny. A handheld camera does not magically extract PIN numbers, and the officer never explains how TGA's footage could realistically compromise access. Then comes the emotional pivot: a lot of people don't like us and want to cause us harm. That statement is not about TGA, it reflects the officer's mindset. Dislike is not suspicion, and fear does not constitute lawful grounds. Policing cannot be driven by how officers feel about public perception. Because once criticism is treated as a threat, everyone effectively becomes a suspect by default.
Hello, mate. No one's help. Yeah, what's going on, mate? What's the problem?
No, there's no problem. Why would you think there's a problem?
Well, you're down recording the side of the police buildings.
Why would that make you think there's a problem?
That's what we're asking you.
No problems at all.
So it's not normal to come in and record.
Who are you, sorry?
So I'm Sergeant Ruang from Romford Police Station.
What's your shoulder number?
276 Echo Alpha. That's fine, you can record it. It's all here, isn't it? That's what we're asking you. If you're going around and you're recording police stations, especially like things like that, like the doorways, the keypads, why would you be doing that? You know, that's not a normal thing to do, is it?
Because I can. And if I was up to anything nefarious, I wouldn't be recording it because my camera is evidence, and that's what cameras are. They're evidence.
But why would you be doing that? That's what we're asking you. Because obviously you can understand with security.
Well, I don't need to give a reason.
You don't understand security?
I don't need to give a reason, I said.
Right. Well, you've come onto here and you've started recording those things. What else have you been recording on here?
The sergeant steps out, already fixated on the wrong question. Instead of addressing what TGA is actually doing, he repeatedly circles back to why, as though filming only becomes lawful once it satisfies his curiosity. It's not a normal thing to do, is not a policing standard, it is a personal opinion. Plenty of lawful behavior may seem unusual, and none of it requires justification to an officer. The sergeant is not identifying a legal power or a specific offense. He is attempting to extract a reason from TGA so he can retrofit suspicion around it. When TGA calmly explains that he is not required to provide one, the interaction stalls, and the frustration becomes clear as they realize there is no obligation to answer and no leverage to compel a response.
I don't really need to answer any of your questions. I don't need to answer questions.
Yeah, but why are you doing that? That's what we're asking.
I don't need to answer your questions. Well, I'm going to stand over here because you're you're getting close to me.
Stay here and you're recording it. But what else have you recorded on here? That's what we're asking, yeah?
Right, you're trying to surround me now. I see what you're doing.
We're not trying to surround you. We're just trying to have a conversation.
Okay. Well, I'll talk to you without you surrounding me. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Bit of space, thank you. Okay.
Well, So that's what we're saying. Obviously, there's a concern, isn't there? We're talking to you normally. No, I'm not talking to you in an aggressive way. We're out here talking to you. And if you go round anywhere and you start recording, especially a police station because of security.
What, a public building?
Sorry?
A public building.
At the end of the day, you've got people's cars there. You've got, obviously, you've got keypads and things like that. Why would you go and take a record of a keypad?
You are right. It's a public building. You are
Exactly,
right.
thank
Okay,
you.
the police station is accessible to the public. This one isn't anymore. All right, but and if you'd have gone into the front office and looked to speak to a police officer, that would have been fine. But the facts are, you've come round to the side entrance and you've been seen filming the keypad.
Well, I can film what I like from a public place. What's the point?
Whether the station is open to the public or not is entirely irrelevant to what TGA is doing. He is not inside the building, he is not attempting to enter, and he is not asserting any right of access. He is standing on public land, filming what is visible from that lawful vantage point. Closing a building to visitors does not redraw the boundaries of the public space outside it, nor does it remove the public's right to observe and record what can be seen from the street. What the officer is effectively attempting to do is switch concepts mid-conversation. Public access and public visibility are not the same. A building can be closed, restricted, or secured, and still be lawfully filmed from outside.
As you record stuff, we're going to record stuff as well, mate. You're going to be detained under the Terrorism Act for a search, all right?
Which
Under
section?
Section 47 of the Terrorism
47,
Act. All right?
doesn't that need to be authorised by an inspector?
No, not the search itself. No, it doesn't.
Well,
The reason why-
I'm
the
telling
reason-
you now, this is unlawful.
Oh, okay, it's not unlawful,
It
sir.
is.
It's not unlawful. Sir, as I said to you, if you was standing there and you was taking a video of the police station, I'd probably talk to you, but I think that's fine. The fact is, you've come to the camera straight to the door where the keypad is and the door is, which to me isn't normal behaviour. Okay? Right, so I'm
I'll see
PC
you,
Jules,
Raz.
I'm from Romford Police Station. Right, you'll get a copy of, you can get a copy of the search once
Yes,
I finish
I would
with
like
it,
a copy of the search,
Of course
thank you.
will, mate. It's not a
Okay.
problem at all. It doesn't need to be authorised by an inspector.
Well, that's what I thought. It was Section 47. I thought that had to be authorised by an inspector.
No, it doesn't at all, sir. No. What I'm going to do is obviously, as you're recording, I'll wait for my colleague because I'm on a training day today, so I haven't got the camera. So we're now recording.
Thank you for letting me know.
So,
Okay.
right, can I unclip this and how do you do it, mate?
I'd prefer to carry on recording.
He stated it to TGA with complete confidence, but it was incorrect. Section 47 is not the routine terrorism search power that most auditors encounter. The commonly used provision is Section 43, which requires reasonable suspicion. Officers must be able to point to specific behavior that leads them to suspect involvement in terrorism-related activity. Section 47 style powers operate very differently. They are exceptional, pre-authorized measures that can only be used when a formal authorization is in place for a designated area and a defined period. Such powers require approval at a senior command level. They are not based on an individual officer's instinct or perception on the street. There are strict safeguards precisely because of how intrusive the power is. If no valid authorization is in force, an officer cannot rely on Section 47. The position is straightforward. Either they have lawful grounds under Section 43 and can clearly articulate them, or they have no power to conduct the search at all.
Do you not understand, obviously, why you've been stopped and why you've been searched? And why?
No, I don't know.
Do you not understand, obviously, in the current climate, the recording and actually recording something like a keypad and going up and recording that on police premises is a concern because of security?
No, I don't know.
You know, so you'd think, for example, if you went onto someone's, for example, a driveway, you can walk onto people's driveways. If you started recording,
This isn't someone's house.
no, it's not someone's driveway, but it's a
This is
security
someone's
issue.
driveway.
If you go up and you start recording, security part, it's not like just a general out in the street recording everything that's around you. If you're actually recording things like close up of things like keypads and the security things, why would you need that? What makes you think that that's sort of a normal thing to do? At the end of the day, security and to do with terrorism, there are concerns. So is terrorism not a concern for the public then?
When, has a police station in London
and
ever been attacked?
The people that do the thing which is like hostile reconnaissance.
Police officers get direct
Yes.
Yes, violence against police does occur in England and Wales. In recent years, tens of thousands of assaults on officers have been recorded, with approximately 37,800 reported in 2023-24 alone. However, that statistic does not justify what happened in this instance. Those figures cover a wide spectrum of incidents, including relatively minor assaults, and they typically arise during operational duties, often in situations involving direct engagement. The officer's assertion conflates unrelated statistics to rationalize his own discomfort. The general risk faced by officers does not create lawful grounds to detain an individual who is simply filming a gate. It is an appeal to fear rather than a reliance on evidence.
I believe what's taking place today is unlawful.
Okay. Right. Yeah, that's about everything.
Well, I believe it's under Section 26 of the Criminal Justice and Courts Act, but which is improper use of police powers.
Laws, fines, against the law, is it? Justification as to why you stopped the search.
Yeah, it's not.
Okay.
I don't believe that was reasonable grounds for me just filming.
Okay. But like we said, you've had these conversations with the sergeant there. There's a difference of opinion, isn't there? And I don't think there's any need to have a conversation further. If you don't agree, we're not going to come to a consensus. So when my colleague comes down, he'll talk about the paperwork you want to wait for. And then
Okay.
that's that.
The comments tell the real story here. A viewer asks the question everyone is thinking, what actually happened? And TGA's reply cuts straight through the noise. £600 plus paid out. Case closed. Not an apology tour, not an internal review hidden from public view, just money changing hands. And the fact he felt pressured enough by armchair critics to remove the post says a great deal about how misunderstood this process still is. That payout matters far more than the figure itself. Police forces do not hand over money out of generosity. They do so because defending the officer's actions carries greater risk. Civil claims are not a soft option. They are often the only route that produces a tangible outcome. TGA did not rant, speculate, or exaggerate. He documented, challenged, and followed the process through properly. This entire encounter exists only because the officers decided that uncertainty was unacceptable. TGA did not provoke, advance, or interfere. He simply declined to explain himself beyond what the law requires, and that became the pressure point. Once they could not turn, "Why are you doing this?" into leverage, everything else followed. Suspicion was constructed after the fact. Terrorism language was introduced without substance. And Section 47 powers were asserted by officers who could not even explain how such authority was in force. The key moment is not the detention itself. It is the repeated attempts to project authority where none lawfully existed. The civil claim update in the comments cuts through all of it. £600 plus paid out quietly, because once legal representatives reviewed the footage, the force recognized there was no viable defense. No intelligence, no authorization, no lawful basis capable of withstanding scrutiny. And once again, the cost does not fall on the officers responsible. It falls on the taxpayer. Public money is lost, not because policing was challenged, but because it was carried out improperly. That is the real waste here. Funds spent addressing poor decisions instead of preventing them in the first place. That's it for today's video. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps support my independent coverage. Thanks for watching.